I am so excited. You guys have no idea. The only brushes that I'm going to be using for this look are in the Frozen Flight kit by MŌDA. So this kit comes with 5 brushes. Like I said, there's the multi-purpose powder brush, this big guy over here, the precision contour, highlight and glow, the shader eye brush, and then the smoky eye brush. And then there's also this really pretty holographic bag that comes with it. That's really handy for traveling if you want to throw your brushes in there and go. And the handles are really cool. They're almost like a see-through frosted handle with blue glitter in it. Such a pretty set. I love MŌDA's brushes, obviously because they work well and the bristles are really nice, but because the themes of their sets are really cute too. They always come out with really cute, colorful, fun brushes. I love them. I'm going to be taking the shader brush from the Frozen Flight kit. These kinds of blending brushes are my favorite because they're small and also kind of flat. You can do like a complete eye look with a brush just like this because you can lay it down flat and pack the lid color on the lid and then turn it and blend it out. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to take Rose Ember, this one right here. So I'm just going to pick that up on the side of the brush and just pat it on. Oh, it's so pretty. I am wetting the brush with a little bit of a setting spray because this eyeshadow is a little bit on the drier side, so it needs a little bit of help to stick to the lid. This brush is slightly tapered at the top, which makes it perfect to get into like that inner corner of the lid, and also to get right up to the crease without going into it. So I'm done packing that color all over the lid, so now I'm gonna go in with that smoky eye, which is kind of like a little dense pencil brush, but a little bit bigger. I love these brushes a lot too because they're really great for getting like right into the crease and also the outer corner. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take Pyro, which is this matte, such a pretty like bright orangey red. And I'm just gonna pack this onto that outer corner. Oh, that is so freaking pretty. And I love how dense this brush is because it really helps concentrate that product wherever you want it. I'm just gonna bring it into the outer V and also start to blend it into the crease. I'm not gonna go all the way over because I'm gonna blend something else over the top of that. Perfect. Okay, so now that that outer V shade is on there, it needs to be blended out. I know. I'm gonna take Golden Hour, which is this matte, light, peachy shade. I'm gonna take it on that same shader brush that we used on the lid, and I'm gonna blend out Pyro so it's not super harsh, and I'm gonna blend this all the way across the lid. And I'm holding the brush like this with the tapered side like pointing into my crease, kind of on its side, because that's the best way to blend out, for me at least. So moving on to my face before we go back into the lower lash line later, I'm just gonna take the same CoverGirl concealer that I used on my eyes. I'm gonna take Fair and Classic Ivory, and then just dab a little bit under my eyes, and then anywhere else that foundation didn't cover. So now I'm gonna move on to some setting powder. I'm not gonna use a ton, but I'm just gonna use a little bit. And this is the CoverGirl True Minerals Translucent Powder. And then to apply this, I'm actually gonna take the Highlight and Glow brush from the set. This is mainly for highlight, but I like to use these kinds of brushes for setting powder too, because it's a perfect little shape to get right up under your eye. This is also another one of those brushes that I have like 10 of, because this is like one of the most useful shapes and sizes of brushes in my opinion. So I'm just setting under my eyes where the concealer is, because that might crease later on, and then a little bit around the laugh lines. So now moving on, I'm going to be contouring. This is the Precision Contour Brush. It's got a flat top, which is very interesting. I don't think I've ever used a contour brush like this, but it's really good for getting right under your cheekbone and like chiseling it out. This will give you that chiseled cheekbone look. And I also like to turn it on its side and blend up like this. And you can use this for creams or powders, which is nice because I do like to switch it up and use creams sometimes to make it look a little bit more natural. The weight of these brushes is really nice, by the way. I know sometimes when you see brushes like this, you might think that the handle's really heavy and it'll like kind of weigh it down, but these are nice and light, just like all the other MŌDA brushes. I mean, I have like probably 8 sets. So I'm also bringing this up my forehead, and I'm just blending in small little circular motions and kind of sweeping across at the same time. And then I always like to take whatever's left over on the brush and just kind of bring it down and along the jawline. This brush is really good for this because it doesn't like put it on too big of an area. Sometimes it can start to look like a 5 o'clock shadow if you get too much contour down here, but just like to kind of define my jaw a little bit more. And I feel like this would be a perfect brush for nose contouring, but I don't do that because I'm bad at it. So now moving on, I'm going to use some blush by Milani. This is the shade Petal Primavera, and I'm going to be applying this with a multi-purpose powder brush, which is good for a lot of different powders actually. Like if you want to blend in your contour with your like translucent powder or face powder, just to make sure it's all like seamlessly blended, you can do that. Bronzer, blush, anything. So I'm just going to dab in here. I like to take bigger, loosely packed brushes like this for blush because it doesn't put too much on, which you guys know I'm not a huge fan of like super strong blush. Just gonna kind of pat this and swipe it right over the apples of my cheeks and up towards my temple. Now moving back to this highlight and glow brush, I'm gonna take this with some highlight. It's pretty. And then I also like to take it a little bit up and under my eyebrow. Then also gonna take a tiny bit on the very tip of the brush and blend it down my nose. So now we're moving back to the eyes since I'm pretty much done with the face. I'm going to be taking Pyro again on that smoky eye brush. I'm just taking a little bit on the very tip of it. These kinds of brushes are really good for blending out lower lash line eyeshadow. So I'm just going to blend that about halfway across the lower lid, and I'm also making sure to meet it up with the Pyro on the upper lash line. And then I'm going to take the shader brush once again, go into Golden Hour, and blend that all the way across. All right guys, I think we are all done with the look. This is my everyday fall glam